Welcome back to It Was Never a Phase Cards. My name is TJ, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about some older Pokemon sets, a little bit older into the X, Y, and Sun and Moon era, where we're seeing big gains, new all-time highs, similar to what we're seeing with a lot of Sword and Shield and a lot of Scarlet and Violet. And it's hard to sometimes get past when we have to focus. We're focusing so much on these newer sets and these newer eras, we forget that there's so many other great eras and great sets in the past that, they're starting to get a little bit older. They're starting to get a little bit more rare. And it's nice to take a deep dive, look at some of the prices, appreciate some of the cards, appreciate some of the boxes and artwork. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. And we're just going to start off with one of the GOAT sets, which is Team Up. Now, Team Up is obviously one of those sets. It's kind of a different era. There wasn't as much hype back then. It wasn't printed as much, but it's such an amazing set, and we are currently seeing some absolutely insane booster box prices. Look at this, like at the beginning of the year, to think that this was a $2,800 box, and now we're seeing sales, in the $8,000 and $9,000 range for this booster box. Absolutely blows my mind. These are the last solds on eBay that you can see, with most recently being a few days ago at $9,277. So that's currently what you can expect from Team Up. Absolutely insane things. Now, it's also worth noting that when you talk about Team Up, I kind of put Evolving Skies in this category of Team Up, even though it was, of a different era, printed differently. There's a lot that's different, but from Sun and Moon, clearly Team Up is that top tier set, and that's the same thing that we see with Evolving Skies and Sword and Shield. So that's kind of, this is like the measuring stick of, like, even if it doesn't do as well, I go, well, look at where Team Up's at almost $10,000 a booster box. That's where I look at Evolving Skies, just moving forward, just knowing that it is possible. This is what we're seeing, and Evolving Skies, even if it doesn't hit 10K, that it has a lot of upwards room when it comes to that. So anyways, that's my little bit of comparison. But when it comes to Team Up, also has a really nice Elite Trainer box. And the Elite Trainer box, obviously it's dipped actually a little bit more recently. Back in July, it was a little bit more expensive overall, kind of around $2,400. We're seeing some sales drop a little bit, but this is what you can expect as of last solds on eBay. 2,000, 2,200, 2,350, 2,750, 2,250, 2,300. So once again, another very expensive product. Beginning of the year, we were looking at under $1,923, and now we're well over the $2,000 mark for Team Up Elite Trainer boxes. Let's see, and back here, you go back to 2023, $350. So, and not a ton of gain, although decent gain, throughout this whole time. It was really 2025 where we really saw most of these big gains. And to a certain extent, 2024 saw decent gains as well, from 500 to 750-ish. That's pretty good as well. But it was really this year where things started to go absolutely crazy for Team Up. And Team Up as a set, here you go, just a little bit of an overview. There's a ton of cards from this set. We've talked about some of them recently. Ton of cards that are absolutely popping off. Obviously, we have the, if you're not familiar, the Latios and the Latios are your big card right here, the Lovebirds card. But what's been happening in recent times is we're seeing a lot of the other tag teams really start to rise in value, like your Gengar and your Mimikyu going really big, your Magikarp and Wailord, which is a super fun card. And then you have even the regular GX right here of Gengar and Mimikyu going up pretty big as well. Those are pretty much the big cards out of the set, but yeah, they're starting, everything is just going up insane in value. There's so much money funneling into this hobby right now from like all aspects and all different sets and all different eras that it's absolutely crazy. It's honestly really, really hard to fathom what we're looking at. So yeah, that's Sun and Moon. And then let's jump over to XY just for a minute. If you're not familiar with evolutions, for some reason, maybe you're newer to the hobby, 2016 XY evolutions, there's reprints of a lot of base set cards in here. Super cool. This is a super fun set to open when it was more affordable. Not affordable now. It is what it is. But this box has gone up real big recently. Just from May to currently where we're at now in August, you can see we're at, these are the last solds on eBay. 813 and 810, we got 1750 and 1850, so $1,700 and $1,800 range for the booster box for XY Evolutions. Beginning of the year, we were still just a little bit under $1,000, which seems like quite the steal now. 960, and you can see, you know, this box has kind of stagnated. I mean, it's still done well, but it's kind of like hasn't had big growth once again until this year. This year is where we started to see the massive amount of growth. You can see $700, $800 range in that price range for quite a long time. So it's just more recently that we're seeing a lot of these sets really start to increase in value. So Evolution's there, and then we're going to jump back over to Sun and Moon here with Unified Minds. Unified Minds with Mew and Mewtwo. Now, we focused on that promo recently, and I think obviously that card getting a lot of attention. There is another card in this set that we'll talk about, but same thing from January of this year. This was an $800 box, and now we're seeing well over $2,000 sales on Unified Minds, just continuing to climb and climb and climb. Massive growth. It's kind of insane. And you go back a few years, you know, once again, it took a long time. You know, it was at like, look how long it was in the 300s, and then it was in the 400s for a long time. But and we did start to see some good growth on Unified Minds last year, 2024, 580 up to, you know, 800. It's pretty good gains, just not as good as what we're seeing now. So much attention being brought up to these boxes. They're just becoming more and more rare, but Unified Minds doing crazy things, new all-time highs. Also, just wanted to point this out. If you're still looking at getting something from Unified Minds, albeit it's very expensive, but you want something that's kind of cool for your sealed collection, I think the ETBs are pretty cool. With Mew and Mewtwo, I think it's a cool ETB design. Definitely expensive, but compared to the booster box, you know, you're at $840 currently. And that's where these ETBs, albeit always been expensive, but you know, once the booster boxes start to get to these like really crazy prices, people will pick up the ETBs because they're more affordable. And you know, you go down the line to sleeve boosters, 3-pack blisters, all of that stuff, right? It just does the same thing when stuff starts to get crazy expensive. But regular ETB of Unified Minds, I think it's a cool display piece. I like the Mew and Mewtwo there too. So yeah, if you want to pick up a ETB before, I mean, there is a over $1,000 sale, but it's just a matter of time till this is $1,000 ETB plus, and it's just going to keep going up from there. But definitely nice worth picking up. I think if you're not going to go for the booster box at over $2,000, the ETB is a good option. And this was that card I was talking about, the Mewtwo and Mew. Obviously, there's a lot of nostalgia when it comes to these two Pokemon, specifically from the first movie. And this is an Arita card, but this one has shot up pretty big recently. It's still not like the most expensive ungraded. You can see here some of the last solds, you know, 180, 120, as far as this goes for ungraded. But PSA 10s is really what I wanted to focus on. It's still expensive, but it has shot up. 520 and 514 is what we're kind of seeing in that $500 range. But if you look at what some of the other tag teams are doing, and even the other Mew and Mewtwo, that promo card, that one's been more expensive than this in a PSA 10 as well. So this might be one of those ones that's going to probably continue to rise in value, especially as the boxes continue to go up. So might be more of a good investment play long term for singles, which isn't something I usually talk about picking up. I usually focus more on sealed, but we'll take a look at the pop report as well. There's only 1,600 10s currently, but you can see this is a little bit of an easier card to grade. You have more 10s than 9s, but still not that many 10s out there in existence. 1,600. When you think about how many people would love to have a Mew and Mewtwo card like this, it's definitely more than 1,600 in a 10. Yeah, I think that this card will definitely have some big upside following what we're seeing from some of the other tag team cards. So just keep an eye on this one as well. This is number 71, by the way, GX 71. And then real quickly, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're this far into the video and you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button with notifications on so you guys can stay up to date as I post daily. Every single day we post Pokemon card market updates, price movements, news, leaks, whatever it may be. I'm posting on the channel for you guys, so you guys don't have to go do any of the research. You can just subscribe to the channel and stay up to date with all the latest news. And we are doing a pretty big giveaway right now. That's why I bring this up, because we're about to get to 20K subscribers. Once we hit that, that's when we're announcing all the winners. We're giving away multiple booster boxes, PSA 10, like tons of prizes. It's just my way of saying thank you, giving back to you guys, the community. And all you have to do is be subscribed and leave a comment on the giveaway video, which will be linked at the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned for that at the very end, at the end screen. So yeah, just subscribe to the channel. It'll be worth it. Enter the giveaway. And then we're going to keep going here with Cosmic Eclipse. And you can obviously see this trend. This trend is from January of this year. Things just slowly started moving up and up and up. And then more recently, even ramping up even more crazy. Cosmic Eclipse right here. Obviously, take a look at the booster box. But we're seeing over $3,000 for Sun and Moon Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes. Last sold a few days ago on eBay. Let's see, as high as, looks like 3,400 is the high. But yeah, so low to mid $3,000 range for Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes. When let's go back to, let's use like January of 2024 as a reference point, under $1,000, and now we're seeing over 3,000. So very, very good gains. Where these boxes will end up long term, only time will tell. But sales definitely slowing down as these boxes get more expensive. But there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money that are picking these up as they can, as they become more and more rare. So there's always going to be buyers for stuff like this. It just may not be your average collector, because we're kind of priced out. And I'm with you guys. Like, I'm not able to buy a lot of these boxes right now just because they're too expensive. I can't really swing it in the budget currently. Plus, when you're trying to keep up with all the new stuff coming out, right? You got Mega coming out, Mega Evolutions, tons of like all the new sets. So you try to, like, as the average collector, right? You try and save for the new stuff, and there's just like never enough time. Never enough time to save up enough money because the set releases just come out too quickly. So anyways, a little bit frustrating in that aspect, but Cosmic Eclipse. And then here's another interesting, in case you guys haven't seen this ETB or seen it in a while, Cosmic Eclipse ETB, maybe not my favorite colors, but definitely a unique looking Elite Trainer box. It's definitely an expensive one. Look at how much this has shot up. Beginning of the year, $440. Now we're seeing $1,300, $1,400 sales. One as high as $1,600. So that's what you can expect from ETBs. So if you don't want to pay, once again, if you want to get into Cosmic Eclipse, but you don't want to pay over 3K, you can pay about half that, maybe plus or minus a little bit, for an Elite Trainer box. So just keep in mind, it would make a nice display piece. I think these colors are it's definitely unique, but something about these colors are a little bit off for me. Maybe it's the green. I think the green's throwing me off. Do you guys agree? I think it's the green. But anyways, it's still a nice looking ETB, and they always make them look unique. So I do appreciate that. So yeah, much more affordable entry point when it comes to Cosmic Eclipse there. Primal Clash, XY Primal Clash right here. This set moving, I mean, when this is displayed, when all of the booster boxes are actually properly displayed, I think they all look really good with the pop-up. But you got your Groudon and Kyogre on here. Nice looking box. But you can see, let's go back to our January reference point of the beginning of the year, $800. And now we're seeing over 2,000. Most recent sales, 2,300 and 2,300, or 2,250 rather. So big sales. January of 2024, $600. So steadily, slowly rising until this year, seeing massive growth for Primal Clash. Some more unique ETBs right here. You have your Groudon and your Kyogre. Very expensive. Now check this out. Look how expensive these are. Over 3,000. Well, there's like a $4,000 sale here for the red ETB for Primal Clash, which is insane. $3,000 to $4,000 boxes. You got your Groudon here with your blue. Really cool. I would love to have these personally in my sealed collection, one of each. But just crazy expensive. $3,000 sales on the last ones right here. Not a ton of sales happening because of how expensive these are. Not a ton out there, really. But last one, 3,100 and 3,500 on eBay. So that's what you can expect from Primal Clash. And then let's see, we're getting close to the end here. I think this is the second to last set that we're going to talk about. This is Roaring Skies. Now, obviously, with the Rayquaza set coming out, there's been a lot of attention around Rayquaza. We've seen the Celebrations Rayquaza going really big. And so obviously we're seeing a lot of attention back to that, into the Mega Rayquaza in general. But this is another box that just has continued from January of this year. It's continued to just do big things, more all-time highs. $850 in January, and now we're seeing over $3,000, some as high as $4,000. You do see a few $4,000 sales in here, but more, it looks like more realistically in the $3,000 range. Low to mid $3,000 range. This one last sold as of 8/12, $3,700 currently for Roaring Skies. And here's the Mega Rayquaza from Roaring Skies. Right here you can see, so megas obviously are going to get some attention moving forward. Now, this is not a very expensive card, all things considered, compared to some of the other ones raw, but there's some interesting stuff. And according to price charting, PSA 10 prices right now being insanely high. Look at this last sold, 8,000, 3,000, but the pop report on this card being very low. So PSA 10s, there's only 113 currently of this card in a PSA 10. So that's a very rare card. So I could see why those prices would be happening. And then you have nines, 549 nines. And actually the most populated one is eights. So very difficult to grade. You have 633 eights. So Mega Rayquaza from Roaring Skies, number 105, doing big things in the PSA 10s, extremely hard to grade. So I was a little shocked to see quite that numbers, but I didn't know that the pop report was that low. So that does make sense. Some big time collectors probably interested in this card. Once again, a little bit out of my budget currently. If I was going to spend this much money on a card, it probably wouldn't be on this card personally. I'd definitely move. I'd be picking up something Gyarados wise, I think, for me. And then let's talk about the last one from the set, or last one on the list rather, which is X and Y Ancient Origins. Now this booster box at more all-time highs. Last sold actually at over 5,000. There's a few over 5,000, even a $6,000 sale. But I think this is with something else. This is with the sleeve set. So you got to ignore that one. But $4,000 range, a lot of sales in there. So I think that's a little bit more accurate. Upper 4,000s currently, but these can move fast. So these prices could already be outdated within the next month and looking cheap. But beginning of the year, $1,500 for an Ancient Origins box, and now we're seeing, closing in on pretty solidly $5,000 range. So let's see, January 2024, under 1,000. So big gains, long-term gains. The older sets proving to dominate when it comes to sealed wise. You could pretty much pick up anything from the XY and Sun and Moon era. For the most part, there are a few exceptions of ones that haven't performed as well, but you already knew. We had the benefit of time when you go back and look at these sets, so we kind of already knew what the good sets were. So if you just picked up the good sets, you'd be doing really well right now. Honestly, it's just from January to now, you'd be performing extremely well. So that's the market update for you guys on Sun and Moon and X and Y. All-time highs across the board. It's just crazy. We're seeing it everywhere. Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, X and Y, Sun and Moon. Where aren't we seeing all-time highs? So a lot of money entering the market. A lot of money possibly coming from Bitcoin into Pokemon, whether that's sealed or slabs or both. That's just currently what we're looking at. So that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys enter the giveaway. Should be popping up here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.